Most people would agree that the world's oceans are not only very large, but also very deep. After all, given that oceans cover over 70% of the Earth's surface, they are by all accounts absolutely massive. Yet what many people don't know is that they have a number of fascinating deep trenches. Typically formed thanks to movements in the Earth's plates, they are easily some of the most fascinating landforms in the world. So today we're going to give you a glimpse of them as we count down the top 10 deepest parts of the ocean on this episode of Super Freaky Science. Part of the infamous Ring of Fire, the Japan Trench was created due to plate convergence between the Pacific and Okhotsk plates. Although an impressive 8,046 meters deep, it is rather short by the list's standards, only measuring in at about 800 kilometers in length. Yet despite its relatively small size, the trench certainly packs a punch. Being credited as one of the main causes of tsunamis and earthquakes in northern Japan, its most notable natural disaster occurred on March 11, 2011. On that day, an incredibly strong 9.0 magnitude earthquake shook the Japan Trench, leading to a massive tsunami. It was this tsunami that caused catastrophic level 7 nuclear meltdowns within 3 reactors located at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant complex. As a result, 16,000 people were killed and an estimated $235 billion in damages was incurred, making it by far the costliest natural disaster in human history. Also known as the Atacama Trench, the Peru-Chile Trench is one of the most seismically active on the planet. Marking the subduction of the Nazca Plate under the South American Plate, the 8,065 meter deep and 5,900 kilometer long trench has been host to an astounding 4 major earthquakes throughout the past decade. Yet it has also made the news for its unique biodiversity, and most notably, a rather funny-looking gel-like see-through fish was discovered in the trench at an incredible depth of 7.5 kilometers in late 2018. Thus, when all these factors are combined, this trench definitely takes the cake as one of the most fascinating in the world. Although the name of this trench may sound tasty, the South Sandwich Trench in fact has nothing to do with your lunchbox favorite. Rather, the trench is located in the South Atlantic and is named after the nearby South Sandwich Islands, which lie just west of it. Reaching a depth of 8,202 meters and expanding for a length of 965 kilometers, the trench has in fact been in the news recently. That's because on February 4th, 2019, the submarine DSV Limiting Factor and its pilot Victor Vescovo successfully visited the bottom, a feat that has not yet been achieved in the history of human trench exploration. On our end, we just hope that the trench continues to be explored further for years to come. Located on the boundary between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, the 800-kilometer long and 8,376 meter deep Puerto Rico Trench is one of the most dangerous in the world. That's because repeated scientific research has shown that an earthquake along this fault line could easily be one of the most destructive in human history. Yet what's even more disturbing is that the Puerto Rico Trench is a ticking time bomb. You see, since it's not ruptured in over 200 years, the trench is a major concern for geophysicists, as they believe it may be due for a major event in the next few years. And an earthquake along this trench line could cause alarmingly huge tsunamis. Located in the western Pacific Ocean, the izu-ogasawara Trench marks the boundary where the Pacific Plate sinks under multiple other plates. Lying 9,780 meters below sea level, the trench is notable because it's home to several unique species that evolved independently due to the trench's near-complete lack of interaction with other waters. As a result, it wouldn't be surprising if it's the site of increased scientific research in the near future. Located northeast of New Zealand's North Island, the Kermadec Trench, which is 10,040 meters deep at its lowest point, is among the most ecologically unique in the world. That's because it features some truly one-of-a-kind species. For example, it is the home of a giant amphipod that is roughly 13 times the size of the average amphipod. It is also home to a species of pearlfish that lives about 5 times deeper than the average pearlfish. Unsurprisingly, this has made the trench the subject of copious amounts of scientific research, yet this has come with its own set of problems. That's because while trench research is usually rather tame, the Kermadec Trench is infamous for being the site of the research submarine Nereus's implosion in 2014 after it succumbed to the trench's high pressure. Yet despite the fact that some pretty expensive technology was destroyed, thankfully there were no humans on board. While many of the trenches on this list are found in tropical waters, the Kuril-Kamchatka Trench sets itself apart by being located close to Russia's west coast, in other words, the polar opposite of the tropics. Interestingly, it extends from a triple junction between the Ulakan Fault and the Aleutian Trench, and at its deepest point has an incredibly low depth of 10,500 meters. Yet what really makes this trench interesting is its intense volcanic and seismic activity. Being the site of multiple major earthquakes in the past 20 years alone, it has experienced a grand total of 4 with a magnitude of 7.8 or higher. Thankfully though, this trench's remote location makes it not too big a danger for the general public. Also referred to as the Mindanao Trench, the Philippine Trench stretches 1,320 kilometers southeast from the Philippine island of Luzon to the island of Halmahera in Indonesia. Measuring in at a maximum depth of 10,540 meters, it was first discovered by the German ship Emden in 1927. Yet what makes this trench notable is that it is located in a fairly active seismic zone, with the area periodically experiencing earthquakes of magnitude as high as 8.2. However, when you also consider the fact that the Philippine Trench is close by to a number of other trenches, such as the Manila, Sulu, and Cotabato trenches, we think it's fair to say that exploring this area would be a submarine owner's dream. Although Tonga may be better known for its beautiful beaches, we think it should get some credit for this incredible trench as well. Measuring in at a maximum depth of 10,822 meters, it was created as a result of a convergence between the Pacific and Tonga plates, forming what is known as the 1,375 kilometer long Tonga Ridge. This wide expanse is a rather large target. So large, in fact, that the Apollo 13's electric generator is believed to have sunk to the bottom of the trench in 1970. However, this was more problematic than you might imagine, as the generator had nuclear fuel in it. Yet given that scientists haven't found any nuclear fuel leakage in the area, as of now the Tonga Trench is in the clear. While we've gone over some pretty deep spots on this list, the Mariana Trench officially holds the Guinness World Record for being the deepest point in the sea. Situated in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Guam, at its deepest point the trench reaches its ridiculous depth of 10,971 meters and extends for a total length of 2,550 kilometers. First discovered by the HMS Challenger in 1874, the first people to have reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench were oceanographers Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard in January of 1960. Since then, a number of manned and unmanned descents have been recorded, with perhaps the most famous being Canadian film director James Cameron's descent in 2012, which went on record as being the first solo descent of the trench in human history. Unsurprisingly, scientists have continued to study this fascinating trench to this day, and we anticipate numerous more expeditions in the future. Thanks for watching Super Freaky Science, and don't forget to subscribe.